What's good, YouTube? That's Textbook Sports Squad. I appreciate those of y'all tuning in. Today we got a special request on another Texans wide receiver, newly drafted from Iowa State, none other than Jaylin Noel. I'm gonna say this first. The Iowa State wide receiver coach has to get some kind of recognition and praise for the receivers that he's developed, their traits, characteristics, and how well Higgins and Noel complemented each other. But let's get into this video. We've got Jaylin Noel in the Reese's Senior Bowl getting in some practice reps. Okay, well, it's not the best run route, and I think it could be better, but there's areas in where some areas in his game don't look so great, but his hands, just his body control, the way he adjusts to the football is incredible, and it's that perfect fit for like a possession wide receiver. And he obviously has speed too, so he can take the top off the defense, but he does make really difficult catches. So let's watch this video first. Okay, we got a go route, gets pushed to the sideline, but this is what makes it better. It's that kind of catch right there. And it's pro level because he gets 2 feet in. So let's go back to it. What makes this route not so great? So we have a 9 route supposed to release to the sideline. I mean, in this practice situation, they have all the space, right? Like there's no safety over the top. They're not gonna shade or cover in a cover two, right? And we have this defensive back again, outside leverage. At this point right here, I want to say he goes into a split release. Let's see. Yeah, he does go into a split release. The thing I don't love about it is, and I'll even go back to see if y'all can see what I'm talking about, is watch his hips and the way he has to threaten inside. Like you have to give a split release, then jab against this kind of leverage. And there's not that much of a jab step to make this corner defensive back have their hips flipped to the inside or get them off of this platform right here. So let's watch it again. Really doesn't really threaten the defensive back. And then if you look at his hips, corners, they always watch where your hips are pointing and how where you're squared to. These are squared going north and to the sideline. Then the physicality with the defensive back, he's able to get that much of a push off. It's we want to get close to the sideline if there's a safety here and we got cover two, right? Because we want the quarterback to have somewhere to throw the ball, but we don't want to have our hips facing that far to the sideline. And he's really kind of uneven. If you look at his shoulders and where his hips are aligned, it's uneven. If you're uneven like that, he'll be off balance, pushed that far. But again, it's just the hands. He adjusts to the football, extends outside his frame. That's something what I've watched, he's very comfortable doing. And then it's just a pro rep of getting 2 feet inbounds. I've seen Higgins and Noel, they run this route a lot. They like to run comebacks. They like to run these kind of out routes. And this is a good route. It is. It's a really good route. But in the NFL, it's just about the minute details where everything is equal. It's about those little small details. And I love how he starts at the stem. Watch him. And I'm gonna play at a slower speed, right? He's threatening vertically. He's like in that kind of sprinter form with his head down. It makes the defensive back feel threatened, like, okay, I might get beat deep, so I'll have to either turn my hips early so that way I don't get beat deep. So this is perfect right there. But then watch him raise his head. And when you raise your pad level and you raise your head like that, 99.99999% of the time, that indicates to the defensive back that there's a break coming. Whether that is outside, inside, or it's a hesitation move north, there's going to be some kind of break coming. And again, that's a perfect snap down. Sit in that sitting chair position, and even more so lower, he gets the separation. But it's again just about the minute details. In the NFL, you are going as a receiver, you're in quarterback. Anytime you're on offense, really, you're going to see a ton of zone. And he's running, it's kind of like a crossing route or it's a post, or he's just trying to get around this linebacker right here, and he has to get ahead of this safety right here. So he's having to work through two defenders. And I like the way he works through it. I don't know, and I'll play it. I don't know if he's thinking of this on the fly or if this is something he's thought of already. But watch the stem here. Again, he has to work through this linebacker and this safety over the top. This linebacker before or pre-snap was pretty far outside. And so watch Higgins. He's going to work towards him and then get around him. Perfect to get around him because then it moves this linebacker off their platform and he's able to jump back inside. Let me see if I can get it back for y'all to see. All right, let's see. Let me go back to pre-snap. So there we are, pre-snap. He's far inside, right? Watch the linebacker jump off his platform right there. Off of his platform, then he works this way. Look at where that safety's hips are turned when you're able to work that way. Completely inside. At this point, we got him. And it's just perfectly run. And then that's what I'm talking about with his speed element, right? He does have the speed. So you combine the route running, maybe need to work on some small details. He's got very good hands, and he's got the speed to take up the top off the defense and work through zone. Same thing here. It's the speed. And then you have the cornerback playing this far off, probably going to be some kind of quarters, cover four, cover three, something like that when you see the defensive back in this kind of stance. He's going to be shaded to the numbers. And in this situation, when we're running a post route like how Noel is right here, you want to work into that blind spot. Once you work this way towards their backside, again, you've got him beat. I love this route. This is absolutely filthy. It's NFL level. And as I said earlier in the video, the Iowa State wide receiver coach has to get some kind of recognition and praise because this is exactly a textbook way of how you want to run an out route. Inside leverage. And we're running an out route. Shouldn't be that hard to navigate through, right? We have the perfect leverage we want, but I love this right here. Everything about his body language here and getting hip to hip with the defensive back right here feels like I'm going to threaten him inside because I've already stacked. I'm on top of him. Or I can beat him vertically. He has he's just positioned in that body language feels like, okay, this is vertical, and then that violent snap down right there at the 29. Doesn't round it too much. He's about between the 30 and 31. That's perfect. This right here from a different angle, but this is about as perfect an example you want to see from a wide receiver when they have a cornerback and a safety over the top, and the quarterback has that much trust in them to come down with the catch. So I want to say Noel is from the right side. I know he's going on a post. Yeah, it's a post from the right side. At this moment in time, I mean, if it goes to the broadcast, and if you're watching it right here, this should not be a catch. You have a defensive back on your backside. You have a defensive back or a safety to your front side. This should not be a catch. And I love the way he goes through it. He's being held from the defensive back that's on his back. So he's trying to be the highest to the football and pinpoint that ball at the highest level. But when you're being dragged down, you can't. And he just makes the catch off of the defensive back's helmet and their back. Again, like I said, his hands elite. They'll transit. I mean, that's be a smooth transition. I love how in zone and running this kind of crossing route, he's able to split the difference between the two defensive backs. And when you're able to do that and you take the right angle, you just become that much more of a quarterback's friendly wide receiver and go-to option. So watch him right here. He's going to have to split the difference between him right here, you can see with the mouse, and him right here at the 39-yard line. And he does it perfectly. He doesn't go too far into this defensive back. He doesn't lean too far into him either. He just makes sure that the ball is going to be somewhere right here and that he trusts his ability and speed to get to that point. Speaking of a quarterback's best friend, he is not afraid to go into the teeth of the defense. Most slot receivers when they go into the teeth of the defense, they'll stop, and the quarterback will want to throw them into a spot, right? He just has no fear at all. So there he is in the circle right there, working on a crossing route, and he's going to see the weak side defender. So he crosses through the face of this linebacker right here, and he's going to see this defender right here. He'll be he'll be in his sight of vision, and he just still works through it. There he is. He sees him right here. And so does this defender right here. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. He feels this crossing route coming over. Some receivers, they want to stop right here. They never run through it. He doesn't. He's just not afraid to go up, make a catch. Now, the quarterback does put the ball exactly where it needs to be. And then again, he's just got that speed. You rarely see college wideouts make tough catches over the shoulder and even backside catches or back shoulder throws outside of their frame. But he does it. And in the NFL, if you have elite hands, I mean, they're never going to lie. They're always going to transition. So here he is again on a post, working vertically. Has to jump, reach, extend his arms. Most receivers, they'll give you like this kind of T shape and where it's like let's say this is their shoulder, which it is. This is Noel's left shoulder. It'll be like a triangle like that, triangle. But he has 100% confidence and comfortability to extend his hands out. Have to go full speed one way, all of a sudden make an adjustment to the ball, reach over. That's just it's insane. That is a conclusion for the breakdown portion of this video. And for the player summary, Jaylin Noel, he's got the speed. Ran a 4.3940, I want to say. So he's got the speed. He has the hands to make difficult catches. Very comfortable with his hands. The route running is very good, pretty well polished. Uh, there are some things I think like just minute details, the small details, to take him to that next level and that next step. But he understands the process and the why I should do things a certain way, which is perfect. I love the way he navigates through zone. He's able to navigate and manipulate defensive backs and defenders in that kind of zone coverage. The no fear element in crossing the field, learning how to split the difference between the defensive backs, just makes him that much more of a quarterback's best friend. And I think he and Higgins are going to thrive in Houston.